one more note with that is, we obviously talked about the pickups for right now, but if Mike Evans does come back, this Tampa team's still a good football team.
Yeah.
They might be in the market for a receiver. And just recently today, it was announced that there's a team with a pretty good slot receiver that's looking to move him, a veteran slot receiver that
Yeah,
may have
boy.
actually been in this system before. Cooper Kupp is
Mm.
now on the trade block, and the Rams are looking for a second round pick to at least get this value back. And listen, you want to talk about perfect pairings. The Cooper Kupp, Baker Mayfield, they've been on the same team before. Cooper Kupp knows the offense. This seemed like a perfect fit, right, Pete?
Yeah, I mean that for a second, I think you would have to pull that trigger. This does seem like a really good pairing. I mean, obviously that would probably kill McMillan's value, but yeah,
Well, the good thing about McMillan is he's been playing all over the field. Like they haven't used him exclusively in the slot. So I think he could bounce around there. And Cooper Kupp's veteran enough to like play wherever they put him too. So it seemed like a match made in heaven.
It does. I mean, it seems like a good match, okay, let me ask you this. If Cooper Kupp goes there, do you think he would be better than what Godwin was there, worse, or where do you see his value at?
I kind of see him as like the exact same. Like it's the role in this offense, like because this was Cooper Kupp's role under Liam Cohen when he was in LA, right? This was the same role, and we've seen Godwin excelling in this role. We've seen Cooper Kupp. This is the Cooper Kupp role. So I think going to Baker, who obviously I think Baker will throw it to his guys. It's one thing we figured out is when Baker has studs, he's like, I'm trying to get paid. Let me feed my guys. And Kupp would immediately slot into me as it might even be a little bit more upside because of what we've seen out of Chris Godwin so far. So I don't know. I have a little excitement if he goes to Tampa. I feel like we don't have to worry about the whole, is it Puka Nacua? Is it the new trajectory? It's kind of like Mike does his thing no matter what. And we saw Baker Mayfield is making it an emphasis to get that slot receiver the football.
Yeah. I mean, you got to love it. If he goes there, I would see him as maybe like a back end wide receiver one, you know what I'm saying? Like top 12, whatnot, what have you. Because those wide receivers over there, they don't impede each other's progress. It's not like one's this week and one's the next week. They both can eat on any given day on the same day. And one more thing I love about it is the fact that A, they're competitive. B, looks like Baker's hungry and Baker's airing it out as good as any other QB that's there right now. But their secondary the Tampa secondary just kind of makes it to where these games are always going to be shootouts, right? Yep. And that's exactly what you want on a fantasy team. So their defense isn't as hot. They can stop the run a little bit, and they can air it out. So that's kind of like a little recipe for success there. That may be a little gem.
And the thing is, it's a second round pick. It's not a first rounder, and I think where it comes down to Cooper Kupp is do you believe in him staying healthy? And that's really the thing. I think they're trying to do right by Cooper Kupp, it seems like. They're saying, hey, our season's kind of a lost cause right now. We don't have the offensive line to protect Matt Stafford with the Rams. So it's like, hey, let's do right by Cooper Kupp. We know your career is probably on the back half of it.
So, that's crazy. I feel like a few weeks ago, maybe last week, we had a conversation about, are they incentivized to fuck with Cooper Kupp like that? And,
Well, I mean, you were talking about playing time, though. And I think this is just, you do right by a guy that's helped you get to a Super Bowl, and you do right by a guy that's done well for your organization and been a Triple Crown guy for your franchise. I think one of the questions I have here is what other teams, right? Because we talk about the Bucs, that's obviously the most obvious team. What about a team like the Chiefs? You think they're willing to spend a second round pick on a guy that could potentially help them win a Super Bowl? Obviously, with Juju Smith, he's been injured, dealing with a hamstring injury for himself. So they've had trouble keeping receivers on the field. You think Cooper Kupp's the name that would go to KC?
No, I don't think he's going to go to KC. I think if KC were to make a play for a wide receiver, they would have done that. They would have done it already. It
Juju's
seems like
now too. Juju might be out for a couple weeks.
I really don't think Juju is the type of guy that if he's out a few weeks, this team is undefeated as it is, right? They're relying now on their defense and their running game. And then just those big plays in big moments, which Mahomes can get it done. I don't see them spending a second round. I could see to me a second round for Cooper Kupp is expensive, right? I mean, like when we're talking dynasty trades, like I'll give second rounds. I'll even give first rounds, because me. But in real football, he's not gonna. I think a second round is pretty expensive for a 1 year wide receiver, and I think
he's 1 year though. He could be multiple years.
I mean, what's his contract? What's his contract looking like?
I mean, I don't know what his contract's looking like, but I know he's not on an expiring deal, and you got to think he's still, if he proves it this year as a veteran, say it's with KC, say it's with the Rams, say it's with another team, he proves it this year, he's at least going to have another year to be a part of the offense. Maybe he's not the Cooper Kupp we get this season as time goes on, but I still think he could be a valuable piece as a veteran, as a guy that's played in the biggest games.
No doubt
you can use.
Yeah, no doubt that he's a valuable piece. No doubt, without a doubt. But if you think about what Devontae Adams went for, right? What did he go for? What do you go for?
It was a second.
Devontae
Adams. It was a second round pick.
Yeah,
it was like a second and a fifth, or maybe something like that. I think it was a second round pick.
I thought it was I mean, you could be right. I'll
clean it up while you talking.
Yeah, I think that the Chiefs they just look like a team that if they were going to make a play for a wide receiver, they would have done it, a few years back when they had a chance, when they had no wide receivers, they could have done, what I'm saying? Like, it seems like their cap space and whatnot, what have you, is it's kind of screwed up because they got a lot of money allocated towards really like two people, right? Pat Mahomes and Chris Jones. So yeah, I don't think that their cap space offers that, but I mean, it would be a good fit, but I would put my money on Tampa to try and get them. I don't think he's going to go to the Niners, obviously, right? With that rivalry they got going on, he would never go to the Niners. But yeah, I mean, like Tampa would be a good fit. I don't know.
What about I think the other sneaky team there, and Devontae Adams went for a conditional third that turns into a second rounder. So I could see that being something that happens with like Cooper Kupp too. That feels like the price tag is there. They would be very similar price tag wise.
Yeah.
But the other team that I think could make a move that's been in a lot of receiver rumors, even since this offseason, and now got the quarterback play to justify, is the Pittsburgh Steelers. A team that is now at the top of the AFC could make a move like that. The thing is, he fits the offense so well for Tampa that I feel like that's probably the best fit. But the Steelers are looking for a slot, especially to match George Pickens there on the outside. And if Russ looks like he did on Monday night, or on Sunday, excuse me, it would be a really good thing to get him involved, get him another receiver, because that could be a Super Bowl team right there.
Yeah, that defense calls for it. I don't know about Super Bowl team. I think that's a little bit of a stretch, but
actually, you said they got a Super Bowl defense, right? You know what I'm saying?
They got to get, they got to get.
He's been a Super Bowl QB before. The thing is, we're gonna get to see what Cooper Kupp looks like. I think that's the biggest thing. Is on Thursday night, we're on a short week here. We'll get to see what Cooper Kupp looks like coming off the ankle. They didn't play him last week, and I think this is probably a showcase for Cooper Kupp this week because they'll have 10 days until the next game. Go out there Thursday, find a trade partner. We're probably going to be seeing, if you're getting a smoke like this out there about Cooper Kupp, it seems like it's